What's up, guys? I hope you're doing well. I just read this article that I thought was, I just have to share it. I can't just, I don't know what to say right off the bat. Um, so war in Ukraine could mean precious metal shortages and thus more catalytic converter thefts. That's one of those, when I originally saw this title or whatever, it didn't see the whole thing. And so all I saw was this, and I was like, oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Catalytic converters have a bunch of palladium in there because that's the catalyst that's used for the redox reactions and stuff to help with emissions. But then I actually clicked on it and I see thefts, and I was like, what? The people are stealing these things because of the palladium in there. So basically, and of course, it comes from Chicago. Enough said. But catalytic converter thefts have been on the rise for years now, and economists and chemists warn the war in Ukraine could make the problem even worse. The reason is that precious metals inside the catalytic converter often come from Russia, which I think, if I remember correctly, and they even say here, it's Russia has like 40% of the world's palladium production. So it is, of course, unwanted, but it is far from unprecedented. A spokesperson from State Farm said the insurance company paid nearly 2,000 claims for catalytic converter thefts in Illinois in 2021, up from 480 in 2019. I just never thought this was a thing. I mean, it makes sense. It's just I never thought people would like go in there and steal them. Because, I mean, for the most part, if I remember correctly, they're pretty much just an emissions thing. In some states, I don't know if it's all states, but I know in some states it's illegal to cut them off, and it's a very distinct sound when you cut them off. But I think, especially older cars will run fine. If I remember correctly, some of the newer ones they have it to where like sometimes it'll filter back to where to help kind of burn more of the exhaust gases before it actually leaves the car, kind of keep it in a more of a closed system. But not 100% sure on that one. It's been a while since I looked at it. I used to be really into cars. So, yeah, about 40% of the world's mined palladium comes from Russia. Probably grabbing information before you, but oh yeah, they're talking about this was a different thing. Basically, what the people would do, it seems, is they'd cut off the the catalytic converters off the cars, and then they'd go take them to a scrapyard and sell them to the scrapyard. Because there's a decent amount of palladium in there. I think like to buy a new cat, it's like it can be around $1,000 depending on the size and the car, if I remember. I've never actually had to buy one, but just from talking to people. So it's not a small expense, and just for an emissions thing too. Um, like it's to the point. I don't think you can cut them off in Tennessee. I used to live up there, but you can like if they break or whatever, because like sometimes if you look inside of a catalytic converter, it's like this big kind of porous block of palladium, and sometimes there's other elements in there too, because the whole point is to have kind of a redox reaction with the exhaust gases to reduce the amount of like carbon emissions and stuff actually coming out of the car. So it kind of adds a couple more chemical reactions to at least change the ratio of the exhaust gases. But yeah, it's just this porous block. And so it's not that small either. So it makes sense that I have no idea what the price of palladium is, or like what if it's like priced by the ounce or whatever it happens to be. I mean, I guess I have Google pulled up. Oh, it's priced at almost $2,900 an ounce, according to what is this, JM Bullion, something like that. Yeah, but still, normally when you look up spot prices and stuff, they're at least around the same depending on where you're looking. So yeah, it's still 28 to that's almost $3,000 for an ounce. So yeah, that's that's not a small expense. But anyways, as a whoever this guy is, I don't know where they brought him up in here. Maybe it was the guy who originally got his I think, because you know how they interview people for this stuff. He they stole one of his, and as you can see, 800 to 1400 to fix it. Um, and so he suggested probably grabbing information before they buy these things from the scrap yards. Like, so the scrap yards asking for more information is like, how'd you buy it? Like, how'd you get this catalytic converter? Um, so they can try to do something about it. But it's like, I mean, they literally just cut it off your car. So it's like, what are you gonna do? um, I don't know. I just thought it was funny. I never thought I would see something like this, so it made me laugh whenever I did read it. So this was meant to be more of a short video because that's all I got. I just kind of wanted to share because it made me laugh, and gotta love it. Anyways, if I find any more stuff, I'll make sure to share.